A good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Formula SimRacing 2018 Winter Series Round 3 today here at the Adelaide circuit. Beautiful circuit, in my opinion. Really something that's lacking on the Formula 1 calendar these days. My name is Felix from Delft and I'm joined today by our lovely co-commentator Dave Paling here.
Hello Felix, hello everybody. I hope everybody's well on this Saturday afternoon. It's interesting you mentioned about this circuit. You know what, I've not raced around this circuit for about 20 years. So it's a little bit of a throwback to the olden days, although a few of these teenagers will perhaps not know that it used to be raced a lot a fair few years ago. Yeah,
definitely. We've got 18 drivers or 19 drivers at the moment driving here. Qualifying has started, 5 minutes already passed, and at the moment it's Ville Leppela at the top, somebody that isn't totally new to FSR. He has driven in the first round of the Winter Series already, and seems to be doing this round as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're a few minutes into the qualifying session already. Luke Maguire and Wojciech Lukaszek have both posted a 109.6. However, both of them went faster than that by about 3 4/10 in the practice session. So I expect to see them pop a little bit higher up the order. I mean, it is a bit of a shame that there's only 19 drivers here today, but given the nature of the circuit, Felix, I can imagine a few people may have been put off a little bit with the barriers so close to the racetrack, or perhaps even the nature of Turn 1, which has gathered a little bit of discussion on the forums and with our president about how drivers approach Turn 1. I mean, the Winter Series is more of a fun event than something sort of really serious. However, drivers are still fully expected to respect the track limits, and drivers that are seen not to be doing so, not only will they feel the wrath of the president, that's a dangerous situation to imagine, but they'll also annoy their fellow drivers. Respect goes a long way in racing, and so does a little bit of trust that people will race fairly as well.
Yeah, exactly. Totally agree with you on that. And let's hope some of these drivers take note of that comment from our president and race director here today, and try to respect those limits a little bit more. Of course, like you said, it's still a fun event, and it needs to be fun for the organizers, we and the admins as well.
That it does, and for the drivers. I mean, I must admit, this is a car that, it's an interesting car, you know. It's a little bit like a Marmite car. You either love it or you hate it, and quite often those people that really love it are the people with the slightly more aggressive steering action. Your Luke Maguire's, your Wojciech Lukaszek's. This car will tend to really suit their kind of driving style. If you're a little bit more like Jensen Button, a little smoother, like peanut butter without the nuts in, it's perhaps a little bit more of a difficult car to drive. At least that's what I found anyway. That's what I'm blaming my lack of pace in these cars on anyway.
Yeah, I kind of agree on you. You need to really, especially in the qualifying laps, you really need to push these tires if you want to get the maximum out of it. And it seems to work quite well with people that really drive aggressively.
That it does. And Wojciech Lukaszek, I believe, is on a flying lap at the moment. No, he might be on an out lap. I'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, he's on an out lap. Luke, go on.
I'm looking at Kirill Budukov at the moment. He's about to come through the last corner to finish his lap. Has been a green lap throughout. Maybe can go up to second position. Let's see. Up to second it is. 1 minute 9.498. Quite close to Ville Leppela, actually.
It is. It's a very good lap time. Now we've got Danny van der Neet and Jean Pité that are both close to completing their laps. They're both personal bests in sectors 1 and 2. Luke Maguire, I think, is just making his way out onto track at the moment. Hopefully he will be. Wojciech Lukaszek, as I mentioned, has now started his first or second flying lap, but he's down in sector 1. Luke Maguire 2/10 quicker on his previous run. I do think we could be in for a bit of a battle between these two. Yeah. However, Michi Hoyer, I believe, is leading the Winter Series standings at the moment, and he's not actually, he's only set one lap time at the moment, 1:10.5, so I expect to see him fire himself a little higher up the order. Wojciech Lukaszek is improving slightly, but he's losing the rear end of the car. It's something that's very easy to do with these motors. If you get your braking a little bit wrong, try and avoid the barrier, which he manages to do. Heading up to, I believe, the final corner. As I say, it's been a while since I've driven on this track, so a few of the corners are a little bit alien to myself. I'm going to get the corner orders completely wrong, so I probably won't bother with them. And across the line he goes, and he stays 4th place.
Yep. At the moment, Ville Lepla is improving in Sector 1, however not improving in his Sector 2. Let's see how his Sector 3 goes, coming out of the last corner. It is not an improvement for him. Oh, it is actually, it is an improvement.
Tiny, yeah. He had a very good final sector there.
Yeah, definitely did, and puts himself just over a 10th in front of Kirill Budukov. Hopefully that is enough for the few 10 minutes that are still to go in the session, but of course Ville has only one try left. Kirill and Luke Maguire both have 2 tries left to complete a flying lap. Bernard Vella didn't improve on this time, and he goes straight on in the turn 1.
Filip Puška is purple Sector 2 though. He's had a 20.5 Sector 1, a 21.9 Sector 2, so he's not far off completing his lap.
Yeah, let's see what he can do, coming through the last couple of corners. Turning the car in nicely. On the power, a little bit of a slide there coming out of the last corner. Definitely won't help him. It is an improvement, goes up to 3rd position. A nice lap time there from Filip Puška.
You get it. It's Saturday, it's alright, I'll let you off. Luke Maguire has now started another flying lap. Michi Hoyer's just on a purple Sector 2 as well. I just thought I'd keep an eye on Luke Maguire, as I saw that he was quickest in practice. Very aggressive. He's aimed to the barrier. No, that's lag by the looks of it. I thought his qualifying lap was over right there. If he watches this back, he'll probably think it was as well. He's using all of the road that's available. I'm not sure which side of the road here is meant to be racetrack, but Luke is using all of it anyway, and rightly so to a degree. Let's see how he gets on. So Sector 1 was a 20.5, but he's going to have to find a couple more tenths if he can. Michi Hoyer stays 12th place, by the way. I'm wondering if he's struggling a little bit at this circuit. Luke Maguire's down in... he's not improved, he's 2 tenths down from his previous lap. Maybe the fact that Ville Lepla has managed to do some decent lap times has got in Luke's head a little bit.
Yeah, perhaps. Definitely not the best time from Maguire. Still manages to stay in 4th place. Still has 1 try left as well, so perhaps he can still push out a little bit of a lap. As I will take a look at Koen van Schie. Somebody new here in the Winter Series, driving in the NetRex racing car. He is quite new to SimRacing in general as well, I believe. And let's see what he can do. At the moment he's in 13th place, about to perhaps improve on his qualifying time.
Well, just to let you know that Ivan Leonov just jumped up to 6th place with a decent final sector.
Right, yeah. Koen van Schie doesn't improve in his lap time. Goes for another try. I think he has. This is his last attempt, so better make the best of it, Koen. Filip Puška is improving in the first 2 sectors.
He is. He's been going very aggressive, and as we mentioned, you kind of have to with these cars. He's really been pushing the boundaries. A 20.4 Sector 1, a 21.9 Sector 2, so almost matching the purple Sector 2. He just needs to finish the lap off quite nicely, and he may be able to fight for that front row as he comes up to the line now. He does. Yeah. He goes pole with a 109.3.
1,000th quicker than Ville Lepla so far. What a lap time from Filip Puška. And Ville isn't able to fight back on that. He has finished his 12 laps And I think the only one able to...
Well, there's a few.
Yeah.
Kirill, Luke, Wojciech, Ivan, they've all got another run in them by the looks of it. So be interested to see what they can do. Kirill is actually on an out lap at the moment, coming up to the final couple of corners. But yeah, I mean, Filip Puška, it doesn't matter what the gap is. It's a little bit like it doesn't matter if you win by... Apologies, folks. A little bit of a problem with Felix's PC there meant that we lost the stream for a moment, and we'll do a little bit of radio commentary while Felix gets himself set up again. Just to keep you updated, Wojciech Lukaszek has completed his final lap. Could not improve. Luke Maguire is out there at the moment, about to start his final flying lap. I'm just keeping an eye on Lucas Schmidt, though, currently sitting in 8th place. He's done a personal best Sector 1, a personal best Sector 2 by about a tenth. If he finishes the lap off quite nicely, may be able to gain a place or two. Coming up to the final corner now. Let's see, a little cautious maybe into the final turn. Let's see if Lucas can carry it over. Luke Maguire's done a decent Sector 1. Lucas Schmidt does improve, takes 4th place off Luke Maguire, but Maguire, as I say, is improved in Sector 1 at 20.4. He's just hit the barrier, though. That's his qualifying session over. He was purple Sector 2, and yeah, into the wall he goes. That's his qualifying session over. Ivan Leonov, he's still out there setting up another flying lap. There's only a few drivers, 2 drivers now, I think. Michi Hoyer is one of them that is able to get one more lap in. Let's see, Ivan Leonov about to start his final flying lap then. I'll have a quick look at where Michi Hoyer is. I think he is just improved on his lap time, has he? Yes, but he's still only 12th place, but he's on another flying lap. Now, he can complete the one he is on.
Yeah, right, so we've got the live stream back going now and also on track. Thanks, Dave, for taking over there for a minute. PC seemed to not like it today. But,
it can't handle me, that's what it is. I've come back and everything explodes.
Exactly. Anyway, Filip Puška about to finish his last attempt. No improvement, 0.06 of a second slower than his personal best. Still quite impressive to be so close to your personal best here at this track, which is definitely not the easiest track out here.
Looks like Michi Hoyer had to abandon his last attempt. Arwin Taruna, I think, is going to be the last person across the line. Well, Ivan Leonov is as well, but he's a long way down on his previous best. Arwin Taruna in 18th at the moment. Is he going to be able to improve? Yes, he does. 1 place to 17.
Right, so Ivan coming across the line. As you said, 7 tenths, 8 tenths, almost slower than his personal best, so no improvement for him. And he will be starting from 7th place on the grid. And that is the qualifying session concluded here. And we've got Felix starting from pole position, a new name here in the Winter Series. And definitely exciting to see somebody new starting from pole position. We've had Michi Hoyer starting from pole position twice in a row now. Last week and... or 2 weeks ago, and the week before that in the first round and the second round. And yeah, nice to see Felix being on top. And Michi Hoyer is actually quite far down. 13th place is where he will be starting. So perhaps he will be trying to get top 10, at least in the feature race. And then perhaps maybe start quite up front in the sprint race. And then see if he can gain some points from that.
Yeah, it is definitely possible. I mean, you can guarantee that he's probably going to be getting some messages, something like, Michi, you'll have to watch those videos that guy's been doing about how to set up your car around Adelaide. His name's Michi Hoyer. But I mean, sometimes though, people just have a track that doesn't suit them. This could be one of those, or maybe Michi wants to make it exciting. Who knows? I mean, interesting on YouTube, someone mentioning about looking at the steering inputs though, and being a bit shocking. And we mentioned earlier on that these cars they like to be driven aggressively, so aggressive steering inputs. And also, with us being in spectate mode, sometimes what you'll see on the live stream isn't necessarily exactly what the driver is doing, especially when they're turning right and the car's turning left. So there is a bit of margin of error in there as well.
Yeah, exactly. There's some slight glitches here and there with these cars. They aren't perfect, but I think for the drivers they are quite nice to drive. Like you said, Dave, maybe don't fit everybody's driving style, but so far it's given us quite exciting racing at both the Imola track for the first round and the Dubai Autodrome for the second round. And let's hope we get some exciting racing here as well.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, if anyone is interested in getting involved in Formula Sim Racing, check out the links in the description. If you want to get involved in the remaining races in the Winter Series, it is free to enter. And you don't need to be a part of a team to enter the Winter Series. And obviously, the Formula Sim Racing main season is only a couple of months away. Yeah. The details sort of coming into their final sort of stages of that one, of the future of Formula Sim Racing. So if you are interested in getting involved, now is the time to check out the forums and see what's happening, and try out the beta car and things like that, and see if Formula Sim Racing is where you want to try your hand at competing against the best.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's take a short break. I'll show you guys the highlights from last round at the Dubai Autodrome. So enjoy that. Try to have a little bit of an impression what is about to happen here as well. And we will be back in about 5 minutes time. Yeah, alright, so the lights are coming on. All the lights are on. And we are racing here for the Formula Sim Racing Winter Series. Michi Hoyer's got a good start, but further back already 3 wide coming into turn 1. Lucas Schmidt, Kirill Burukov and Luke Maguire all side by side. And it seems that Luke Maguire is already up to 2nd place, a little bit further back. The drivers getting through the first couple of corners fairly cleanly.
Burukov from wide.
Yeah, so lost another position to Fabian Ruth, and maybe Tom van Egmond also looking to gain 1 position here. Yeah, he also did around the outside. Is he going to be able to hold that? Kirill's not going to give up easily. However, the next corner is going to be the inside for Tom van Egmond. Work a little bit harder to keep Luke Maguire behind, because Luke Maguire is somebody that is a quick guy. And definitely when he sees his prey, he will hunt him down.
He won't hesitate.
Exactly. Let's see on the SimRacing Malta car. Oh yeah, whoa, yeah, even hit the car.
Yeah, not ended well. It's not ideal, but...
Oh, there we go. In the pit lane, contact with the Zaxby driver. I'm not sure who that was. I think it was
Was it Zaxby?
Or Pitais. I think it was a blue car.
Ah, yeah.
Anyway, seems to cost him a couple of positions, maybe. Michi Hoyer is exiting the pits right there. This is gonna be pretty close, actually. Under braking, it's gonna be even more close. Michi Hoyer is gonna have cold tires and cold brakes coming into the first sector.
Tom's got a very good run.
Exactly. I'm proud to say. Let's see, goes back into the slipstream once more. Now alongside, coming into turn 1, Tom van Egmond making the move. A little bit of contact there, wheel banging together with Fabian Ruth, who's gonna be the first one out of these corners. It's gonna be Tom van Egmond for now. Kirill is gonna go on the inside of Fabian Ruth into the hairpin, makes the move stick, and Wazienko is also gonna make lose the position to Lukacek. Again, side by side here, Fabian Ruth about to lose another position.
Ooh,
contact with Lukacek, and they go wide out of the first corner.
Well, Fabian, you have to give that up.
Yeah.
Gone way off track to defend position, you can't do that.
Here we go, Kirill, or Lukacek I should say, makes the move very aggressively there.
That was very close.
Michi Hoyer taking victory once again here for the feature race of the Formula SimRacing 2018 Winter Series here at the Dubai Autodrome. Great race from the German driver Luke Maguire, missing out on the win, but still takes a very nice second place. Tom van Egmond, amazing drive from him, finishing on the podium here. Here we go. Lights are coming on. The lights are on, and we are racing here for the sprint race at the FSR Winter Series 2018. It's been a good start for the ACR driver of Lucas Schmidt. Already too wide and challenging Ivan Leonov into turn 1. 4 wide, almost going into turn 1. Lucas Schmidt takes the inside line. Danny van der Niet around the outside. Is he going to be able to make that stick? Now next to Lucas Schmidt and Ivan Leonov. Danny van der Niet around the outside, makes contact with his teammate.
Don't do that.
And Ivan Leonov keeps the car in the right direction, but loses 2 positions. Also a position to Dominic Wazienko.
Just 1 position, I know.
Yeah, he makes his
stick.
Yeah, exactly. Side by side with Leonov just in the front.
Leonov's
There's
had a
contact with João Pitais. And Leonov lost another position to Wazienko. And side by side with Luke Maguire.
Well, Luke left him room, though, it's fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair racing.
Inside line is going to be for Tom. And yeah, he makes the move stick. Nice job from Tom van Egmond there, already up to 7th place. Michi Hoyer will now be able to make the move on Leonov, and we will have the slipstream on Tom van Egmond. Tom van Egmond playing it smart, making sure Michi can't grab his slipstream that easily. Leonov is going to go for the inside. Is he going to make the move? No. Tom van Egmond goes into turn 1 first and comes out of turn 1 also first. Down the main straight, 4 cars battling for position. Ivan Leonov is going to be really scared here. Around the outside goes Kirill Budukov. Luke Maguire tries it on the inside, makes a little bit of contact with Leonov.
That's not so fair.
Yeah, João Pitais is almost spinning in the background.
Oh, Van der Niet's 1 wide.
Oh, Van der Niet. Has he lost the position to...
he's lost it, yeah. But he may have a chance to get back on the back straight.
Oh dear, then he made that mistake. And
yeah,
he runs wide again. Oh, he's way too far back, and we have to defend from Wazienko. Yeah, exactly. Here we go, Wazienko around the outside. Will he have the position even before the braking zone? Then he brakes very late. Manages to keep the position, but a little bit of contact there from Wazienko on the rear wheel of Danny van der Niet. So Lucas Schmidt takes victory here for the sprint race of the FSR 2018 Winter Series. Lukacek second, Danny van der Niet after the mistake finishing in 3rd. Wazienko not able to capitalize in 4th.
Budukov went into the pits on the last lap.
Oh wow, well that's not going to help him.
Well, yeah. You have to finish the race.
Yeah, Tom van Egmond.
I mean, he finished, but he's lost a load of positions.
Michi Hoyer finishing.
I mean 2 actually.
Yeah, he's lost that, that's not. Maybe he ran out of fuel or something, I don't know. Anyway, Michi Hoyer finishing 6th, Luke Maguire 7th, Fabian Ruth 8th, Kirill Budukov 9th, João Pitais in 10th. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The drivers are almost ready to get the first race of the 2 races we are driving here at the Adelaide circuit today. Yeah, like I said, first race, feature race, will be 30 minutes long. After that we will have a sprint race. That sprint race will have a reversed top 10 grid, so the driver that finishes 10th in the feature race will start on pole position for the sprint race. Let's see if it's going to be Ivan Leonov again. He's been on the reverse grid pole position twice in a row now. So let's see if he can get 3 times in a row. It will be quite special, but perhaps it will happen.
It would be. I think he was a little bit unlucky at the start of the last sprint race as well. He started pole, I think he dropped a few places early on. Yeah. I've just been doing a bit of a Martin Brundle sitting on the outside of turn 3, watching drivers come through turns 1 and 2. And it's interesting, there's a few different, you can see who's attacking it a little more aggressively, and who's taking it a little more cautiously. A few people have had a couple of spins there. So it'll be an interesting corner to see how drivers get on. But I was thinking, Felix, I mean, I haven't driven around this track much, I don't know if you have, but is it going to be the easiest of tracks to overtake on?
I don't know. It's got straights. I mean, even though it's got quite a lot of walls quite near in the corners, it's still got quite some pretty long straights where some slipstreaming might be going on. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, the thing is as well, the slipstream is very strong in these cars as well, so it could tempt a few drivers to, especially on the long back straight, if they get a good run down there, you might get past someone, but then find yourself being attacked back if you overtake someone too soon. So it could be a little interesting. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. The formation lap is now underway. Just to quickly mention as well, for anyone that's new to watching the stream, I believe in the Winter Series, the drivers can use any tyres they want, but they do have to make a pit stop in the feature race, so they can use the soft tyre, which is the softest tyre, make their pit stop, put the softest tyre on again, and complete the race. They don't have to change compounder tyre.
Yeah, we saw that last race, or the first race, sorry. First race we saw, I think it was Liam de Waal.
Yeah.
Pitting in the absolute last lap, and he actually got disqualified for that because it wasn't quite fair. He pitted in the last lap, and his pit box wasn't even
before the line.
So
it's one of those things that, I mean, I'm old, right, so I know from when Schumacher tried doing this, and I know FIA brought in the rule of you do this, you get disqualified. And obviously in sim racing it may be different from league to league, but I saw it and thought, I wonder what's going to happen there. And I think the right decision was made. Although it's a fun event, you can't go doing that kind of thing because it's effectively trying to gain an advantage in an unfair manner.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go quickly through our top 10 here. Filip Puška will be starting from the pole position. Right behind him it will be Ville Lepela. Kirill Birukov will be starting from 3rd place. Then it is Lukas Schmidt, Luke Maguire, Wojciech Lukacek from 6th place. Ivan Leonov from 7th. Let's see if he can try to stay 7th or above and not start from that pole position in the sprint race again. Then Bernard Vella from 8th, Danny van der Niet from 9th, and Bojan Bogdanov from 10th position, and Tom van Egmond right behind him, or next to him actually, on 11th place. Right.
Now we get ready for the tense moment heading down in towards that narrow turn 1 with 19 drivers. It's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, definitely. The lights are not coming on yet. I think there's still somebody not lined up properly. Here we go. Lights are coming on. And we are racing here for the Formula SimRacing Winter Series, the 3rd round at the Adelaide circuit. Seems to be a reasonably good start. Ville Lepela already past Filip Puška, and it's a little bit of chaos into turn 1, but it seems that most of the drivers are through it quite cleanly. Lepela leading after the first couple of corners.
Yeah, it looks like turn 1 was dealt with quite nicely. A couple of drivers having to take a lot of off track there. but it looks like a couple of the ACR guys have managed to make a few gains. Oh, Wojciech Lukaszek nearly into the barrier, and that's Kirill Burikov, excuse me, sorry about that, it is Saturday after all, up to 5th place, but it did look like a very good start by Veal, but he was very aggressive at turn 1.
Yeah, now Wojciech Lukaszek is about to try to make an attack. Oh, as a car loses rear wing on the exit there of the corner and spins back onto the track.
Yeah, it looked like it was Jean Pité, lost the rear end. He was very frantic for a moment there. I don't know if it was contact, but yeah, once his rear wing had gone, that was major carnage. There'll be a few drivers with damage there. May have to make early pit stops. And looking at it, Luke Maguire's got a bit of a run on Lucas Schmidt for 3rd place at the moment, heading up towards turn 1. He's not going to be able to make the move there, but he is close, and he's looking feisty. Yeah,
Luke Maguire always is looking feisty. Let's see if he can make the move this time and make it stick as well. We've seen quite a few times Luke Maguire being aggressive, but then also making the mistake and losing a lot of time to the driver in front of him. Let's see if he can keep his calm and get the move done. Oh, bit of lag there, I think, from Luke Maguire, but runs quite wide and almost into the barriers.
Yep, top 10 getting a little bit spread out at the moment. That may change as they get onto the back straight. I'm just having a little bit of a look further down the order where Matthew Toussaint is coming under a little bit of pressure, but I'd keep your camera on the guys up at the front at the moment. We've got Jean Pité into the pits. Don't think he's going to be able to repair that rear wing, but you can try sitting there for a few minutes and see what happens.
Kirill Burikov spun round in the hairpin, I think, and lost about 3, 4, even 5 positions.
Is still stationary there at the moment. He's had to basically let the whole field come past. I'd rather see a driver do that and be safe and let the whole field come by than just quickly try and spin the car around and collect a few people.
Yeah, a tough spot there to turn your car around. You can't really see what's coming from the other side of the hairpin, and you still want to try to get back on the track, of course. But nice job there from Kirill, definitely.
The front two are starting to pull away a little bit now, but Lucas Schmidt, I wouldn't say he's holding up Luke Maguire, but Luke Maguire's been right up his gearbox for the whole of this lap. Let's see, oh no, I thought he may have a good run, but he got all too busy over the curb.
Same thing happened last lap and lost quite some time there, and that means he doesn't really have the opportunity here. Has a bit of understeer coming through the long right-hander. See, showing himself in the mirrors of Lucas Schmidt. Really quite a lot of steering lock right, left there to keep the car in the right direction. As I said, Luke Maguire, quite an aggressive driver. Let's see if he can make the move here on Lucas Schmidt.
Yeah, I mean, you look at if he hadn't have had that moment over the curb, he would have had a much better opportunity of making the pass. But that's the difference in racing. The tiniest of mistakes and your opportunity can disappear. I'll keep an eye on the lead two at the moment. They're getting closer, but not close enough to attack.
Yeah. Maguire seems to have a good exit out of the turn 1-2 chicane. Let's see if he can capitalize on that. However, this first sector, not really the best place to make an overtake. Quite a tight section of the track.
It is. Kern Van Schie is unfortunately out of this race. And the leaders are starting to catch up to Jean Pité, but it doesn't look like Philip Pushka's got a good enough straight line speed, you know. Lepela's pulling away from him on the straights. Oh wow, maybe not the best setup choice there for qualifying then from Ville Lepela. That lost him with 1/10 of a second or 1,000th of a second to Pushka, but in the race he's got the top speed and manages to keep in front. Yeah, he's keeping it. I mean, Pushka's sort of catching up through all of the corners, but then when they get to the back straight, yeah, Lepela's just gone. Yeah. On the telemetry. Yeah, Lepela without any slipstream, 267 kilometers an hour, and Pushka with slipstream 268. So shows there is quite a lot of top speed in that flag-to-flag car of Ville Lepela. Yeah, there really is. And with Luke Maguire not being able to get past his new teammate, Lucas Schmidt, this is allowing Wojciech Lukaszek to close up on the both of them. So I think Luke Maguire needs to make some moves, or he's wide on the curb again. That's going to compromise him. He may be lucky that Wojciech isn't close enough to him. Filip Puška, oh, pushing hard. I think he may have just clipped the barrier at the kink.
Oh, and ACR car there on the outside of the track. Let's see, steering looks straight from Puška, so I don't think there's too much damage.
I think he may have just about got away with that. Luke Maguire ever so close to Lucas Schmidt. He's trying to make the moves everywhere he can. Maybe he heard me saying he's going to have to make the move soon. Is he going to chuck it up the inside? No, he's not. Lucas Schmidt covers him off. That could compromise the both of them. Fantastic little battle we got going on here, though.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see what Luke Maguire can do again. First sector, not the best section to overtake unless the driver in front of you makes a mistake. But Lucas Schmidt gets through the chicanes quite nicely. And
just to let you know as well, Puška is right up the gearbox again of Vio Lepala. But as they get to the back straight, I'm going to keep an eye on them and see if Lepala is going to pull away again. Yeah, he is straight off the corner. He opens up a little bit of a gap, and Puška can't do anything about it. He's just watching him drive away.
Yep, definitely Lepala there with the top speed. And Puška's gonna have to find another place to maybe get past. Maybe somewhere in Sector 1. I said it's a tight section, but it's also the section where Lepala will be the slowest compared to him if he has that more downforce. Yeah,
definitely will. And he needs to do it long before that back straight. Otherwise, Lepala's just going to come right back at him and pass him. Oh, he's nearly at the back of him. That's going to compromise him. But it's going to give him a little bit of breathing room. I reckon he'll be able to close that gap back up. Lucas Schmidt then still all over the back of... no, Lucas Schmidt still all over the front of Luke Maguire.
Yeah, exactly. Maguire still not able to find a good exit out of the corners leading up to the back straight. And that is definitely not helping him.
Do you know what the interesting thing about this is? I mean, we were talking a little bit about Michi Hoyer. Didn't really do much in qualifying, was quite far down. He's just sat there now, seeing these three guys up ahead of him, start battling, and he's closing the gap up. He's not pushing, he's not overdriving. And as I say that, he's into the barrier. Oh dear, oh dear. That's a commentator's curse if I ever seen one.
Well, Luke Maguire... Lucas Schmidt in front made a little bit of a mistake, but I don't think it's enough for Maguire to make the move. Maguire again looking in the mirrors of Lucas Schmidt, but Lucas definitely isn't the most inexperienced driver here. Has done quite a lot of races in FSR last season and the season before that, so he knows what he can expect and how to defend from drivers like Luke Maguire.
I think Lukaszek may have a bit of damage. He just clipped the barrier, third from last corner on the exit. Clipped the barrier. Yeah, he's got suspension damage. That's going to compromise him. Michi Hoyer now has a target. It's a little bit like seeing a shark swimming at a bleeding person in the water. I think Lukaszek's about to become a victim. Luke Maguire, though, trying to make the moves on Lucas Schmidt. Both of them slightly offline, a little bit compromised, but it's race on between the two of them.
Yeah, here we go. As we are coming through the corners that will lead up to the back straight. Let's see, Luke Maguire needs a good exit. Over the curb quite a lot, and it's not enough. I don't think it is.
I think it's the dirty air, you know, going through that corner, because I've just seen Michi Hoyer behind Lukaszek run a little bit wide as well, so it could be the dirty air catching people out there.
That could well be. Michi Hoyer taking it easy so far. Perhaps he doesn't know that Lukaszek has that suspension damage, but he sees him all over the place, Lukaszek here. Surely Michi will try to make that move fairly soon.
I think we may have an attack here. I'll let you know, Luke Maguire and Lucas Schmidt. No, it's not going to happen just yet. I don't think there's going to be the room.
No, surely not. Unless Schmidt makes a mistake. Maguire really quick through the chicane now, perhaps on the inside. Schmidt defending well around the outside. Maguire tries it. Next corner will be the inside. He gets the space from Lucas Schmidt and he gets past. Perhaps a switchback from Lucas Schmidt. No, moved on there by Luke Maguire. However, there's still a back straight. Lucas Schmidt perhaps in the slipstream can get back to position. Luke Maguire a lot over the curb, loses a bit of top speed, but I think it is enough to keep Lucas Schmidt behind. Nice move there from Luke Maguire.
Yeah, he had to be aggressive, and he was. I'd say it's fair, even though they are new teammates. I'd still say it's a fair move. Lucas Schmidt was doing some brilliant defensive driving while that was happening. Wojciech Lukaszek still struggling with Michi Hoyer right behind him. Filip Puška slowly closing that gap back up to Vio Lepela, but taking his time in doing so. He doesn't have to rush with it, to be fair.
Yeah, also Tom van Egmond and Ivan Leonov right behind Michi Hoyer and Lukaszek at the moment. This could turn out to be quite an interesting battle here, as we are about 19 minutes away from the finish line.
Now, Filip Puška is now right on the back of Vio Lepela. So he was closing the gap quite nicely. They've got a little bit of traffic ahead of them as well. It looks like it may be an Invictus driver, as Brandon Tabone and João Pite are both confirmed DNFs now as well. But this bit of traffic may not help Puška if it means that Lepela is going to get a bit more of a slipstream down the back straight. Oh! The amount of steering lock Puška's having to put on to make the kink on the back straight is quite surprising. It's a lot of steering action going on there.
The car seems to be set up quite honestly, especially in the dirty air. It's even though it's a small kink, seems to be quite difficult for the car of Filip Puška at the moment.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, it could be that he's pushing these tyres just a little bit too hard, but I don't think he really needs to. I think he can play a little bit of a patient game, really. He already knows he hasn't got the straight line speed to attack Lepela, so he should already have been, what, 5 laps ago, been thinking, right, where can I set him up elsewhere? That's the sign of brilliant drivers, spotting straight away, right, the straight is not going to be a place. Where else can I do it? Where can I set him up? And that's something that we saw in the World Championship a lot last season for some of the drivers in there, setting drivers up a few corners before where they really want to make a move.
Yeah, exactly. And in the meantime, Tom van Egmond got past Ivan Leonov. Nice job from Tom. He did very well in last round sprint race. He finished second there. Great achievement by Tom, and I think he's hungry for more.
Yeah, I think he is. Bernard Veller, no rear wing. He's into the pits to try and get that repaired. Let's see, Tom van Egmond, as you say, he's doing quite well. I mean, he's right behind Michi Hoyer. So I don't know if Michi's clipped a barrier or something and got damaged, because he's not really attacking Lukaszek anymore, is he?
No, he is not. And I think his pit light is on as well, so perhaps Michi coming in for a relatively early stop. Yes, he is.
Now, there's no refueling in these cars, so the guys are carrying the fuel that they need to get to the end of the race, and they'll hope they've calculated it right. That sort of nearly caught me out in Imola, actually. Thankfully, we did one less lap than I thought we might need. I think I crossed the line with 0.2, and I thought I've got another lap to do, but thankfully didn't need to.
Yeah. I had a feeling when you cross the line for another lap and you're not sure if you're gonna make it to the end of that lap.
Yeah, it's not nice.
No.
Okay, so let's see, what have we got? Luke Maguire, he's managed to pull away from Lucas Schmidt by a couple of seconds now, so he's been freed up. 16 minutes to try and close up an 8-second gap.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. I'm going to have a quick look at what his previous lap times have been like.
You know, however, I think Michi made quite a good choice to make that early pit stop. I mean, he has got 9 seconds of free air in front of him. No drivers that can disturb his aerodynamics with any dirty air. So with fresh tires, I think Michi can be setting quite some good times and try to undercut the drivers in front of him. I mean, with the dirty air on this track, it can be quite difficult to get past, as we've seen. So,
yeah,
strategy-wise,
we've got Danny van der Neek, Tom van Egmond, and Wojciech Lukaszek into the pit, so they've trying to react to Michi Hoyer. This is where Hoyer, he needs that sort of second over Lukaszek to jump him if he can.
Yeah. And I don't think it's just not enough. Michi Hoyer right behind him, next to him in turn 3. Really close there on the exit of the pit lane. Now we're around the outside. Michi Hoyer has warm tires. Lukaszek has cold ones. Oh,
that's the barrier!
Collide. Into the barrier goes Michi Hoyer. Loses his front wing. Got squeezed there by Lukaszek. I don't think that was the most fair racing.
Sorry, Felix got about change of the lead. I didn't see exactly what happened. My apologies. Vil Lepela heading into the pits now, though. But yeah, Filip Puška, I think third from last corner, managed to make a move and take the lead. I don't know if you might want to try and have a quick look at that or not.
Let's see. Vil Lepela made a mistake. Yeah, he did. Made a mistake, ran into the barriers, and that allowed Filip Puška to get past. I don't think Lepela has too much suspension damage, but he went into the pit lane very, very carefully, and perhaps that will be the change of the lead and the change.
It's been costly for him. Yeah. It's been costly. He's come out behind Lucas Schmidt, so he's lost about 12 seconds, 12, 13 seconds because of that.
Yeah, that will definitely hurt his race.
Well, what an interesting couple of minutes we've just had there. I mean, Michi Hoyer made the early stop, almost made the undercut work in attempting to make the pass. There's a bit of contact between himself and Wojciech Lukaszek. I could see as soon as they were exiting that corner, there was unfortunately only one place Michi was going to end up, and that was headfirst into the barrier. And I'm sure there's been a few German expletives used on his live broadcast, if he is broadcasting, as Filip Puška into the pits for his mandatory pit stop, and Luke Maguire following him in as well.
Right, so let's see where Puška comes out. Surely he's gonna be in front of Lucas Schmidt. Ivan Leonov hasn't stopped yet, I believe, or he hasn't stopped yet. Stays out for another lap. So Ivan Leonov going for the exact opposite that Michi Hoyer was going for. Leonov trying to stay out as long as possible and gain some positions by doing so.
Yeah, Lucas Schmidt just coming onto the start-finish straight now, so I think Filip Puška is, he's a long way up the road, miles ahead at the moment.
Yeah, Puška already into turn, what is it, turn 6, I think. So he has got about 4 seconds to Leonov and about 10 seconds to Luke Maguire. So impressive lead here from Filip Puška, and seems to be on course for the victory here for the feature race. Knock on wood, though.
Yep, knock on wood indeed. I'm just having a quick look at Vil Lepela. I'm trying to work out if he's got suspension damage. I'll be able to let you know once he's on the straight. Yeah, he has got a little bit of suspension damage. So that's unfortunate for him. It means he's probably only going to be able to watch Lucas Schmidt drive away. Luke Maguire gained about a second on Lucas Schmidt through the pit stops, but lost about a second over Filip Puška through the pit stops.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you what, Felix, we've got a little bit of an interesting battle for 12th, 13th and 14th at the moment, with Miles Wee-Way, who's just come out of the pits, Terence Gretsch in the 13th place, and Kirill Burikov right behind them as they get onto the back straight. This could get a little bit feisty, I feel. Closest battle we've got at the moment, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Miles Wee-Way, somebody that just recently signed with NetRex Grand Prix for the 2018 FSR season. Nice to see some new names. Of course, Miles has been driving in FSR for a couple of years now already in the pro season, but not as frequently as he might have liked. Perhaps that will change now.
I mean, in a way, it's nice to see that he's managed to get himself into a team like NetRex, but at the same time, it means we don't get to see the livery that he made. But obviously the livery works from the previous rounds. He's coming under a little bit of pressure at the moment, though, but it'll be interesting to see how he holds up with that. Terence Gretsch, a name I can't say I've seen before. I don't know if he competed in the last round.
Yeah, he, I think the 2 rounds already. Driving for the SimRacing Malta team. They have been doing reasonably well in the Winter Series. I think they got a couple of top 10s. A couple of drivers, and at the moment perhaps Terence might be able to get another top 10. Well, top 10 is going to be tricky. He's quite 14 seconds back from 10th place, but definitely looking for a 12th position and maybe 11th.
Yep, well, it's interesting you mentioned about 10th place. Obviously, whoever finishes 10th in this race starts pole, and at the moment, that's Matthew Toussaint. And you know he's going to be driving around thinking, right, the car ahead's 4 seconds ahead, I don't want to bother catching them. Car behind is 10 seconds behind, just don't let them catch up. I'm happy for the next race.
Yeah, exactly, but the pressure is on him then. He needs to, if you're starting from that pole position, you need to try to at least try to go for the win then. And
yeah, definitely.
as Miles and Terrence are trying to go too wide into turn 1, that's not gonna happen. And Miles, at the moment, having to defend quite heavily from the white, blue and red SimRacing Malta car.
I'm just having a quick look at Veal Lepero. It looks like he's taken a few laps to get used to how his car's going to handle with that little bit of suspension damage. And he started closing the gap up to Lucas Schmidt, and he's bringing Wojciech Lukaszek along with him. So I'll keep you updated on this as they get a little bit closer. Yeah. But Filip Puška pulling out a bigger margin up at the front now.
Budukov only just made the kink. He was getting quite a lot of slipstream, but also quite a lot of dirt here. Now, however, he is going to be able to make the move around the outside. Is that going to work? Late braking, a little bit of contact. And also a little bit of contact with the wall there with Budukov and Terence Grech. But I think it wasn't too bad. Difficult spot to be in as Kirill Budukov. He was around the outside. I think a late braking from Terence. And yeah, difficult to judge from first sight.
Well, Matthew Toussaint's day has just been ruined because we had Jos Araneda go for the pace. So Matthew's now up to 9th, and that means Michi Hoyer now sitting in 10th place at the moment, and he's now got a gap to car ahead, car behind. So Michi Hoyer's day improves a little bit.
Yeah, we've got 8 minutes left, so there's still things that could happen. But at the moment, Michi is looking good for that reverse grid pole position.
That he is. This battle for 3rd place is heating up a little bit, you know. Wojciech Lukaszek starting to close up on Veal Lepero, and Lepero really starting to apply some pressure to Lucas Schmidt, but we saw how well Schmidt was able to defend against Luke Maguire, so I don't think it's going to be easy to make any kind of moves on Lucas Schmidt.
Yeah, surely. Luke and Schmidt
Who's she
is not
then?
gonna...
Wait for it, Shirley. Oh, come on, Felix.
Sorry, I didn't catch what you said.
You'll get it eventually.
All right.
Don't call me Shirley. It's a famous quote from a movie. I can't even think of the movie now. It's Airplane.
Okay, I don't know. I'm too young for this, I think.
You are too young. You are too young. I don't know. Show my age. There were people watching this that know exactly what I'm on about. And if you're under the age of 28, you'll have no idea.
Right, yeah. Anyway, back to the racing. I think Lukaszek, he has been struggling here through the last couple of corners, losing a bit of time to Lepela. And Lepela isn't able to really get close to Schmidt. I mean, not really get close. And I see a front wing of a Netrex car, I think, there. On the side of the road. Not sure whose car that was.
It might be Miles Wee-Way. He's going slow to let the leader through. My apologies. Kirill Birakov is out of the race. I don't know if that's from anything you saw a little earlier on. But yeah, unfortunately, he is out of the race now.
Alright. Yeah, Danny Van Den also has got a front wing, so probably then another piece of debris and a mistake there by me. Alright, so Filip Puška is leading this race quite comfortably at the moment. 10 seconds ahead of Luke Maguire, 15 seconds ahead of Lucas Schmidt. So, yeah, but as you said, battle for P3 is gonna be still quite exciting. 5 minutes or just over 5 minutes left in this race.
Yeah, battle for P3 is the one to watch at the moment. I mean, it's an interesting one. We've had quite a few people DNF, probably not as many as I thought could. If we'd have had a collision or a big crash lap 1, it would have been absolute carnage, but the drivers have done quite well so far. But yeah, for Filip Puška, once Veal Lepela had made his mistake, it's just freed Filip Puška up to run away at the front without any pressure.
So again, the slipstream working quite well on the back straight, but then also in that kink, you have to do it here and you need to lift to not hit the barrier on the outside. So let's see, Lukaszek, bit of a mistake. And loses quite a lot of time there to Ville Lepela, and Lepela he has gained quite some time on Lucas Schmidt in the last couple of corners. So.
Ton van Egmond is slowly catching up to these guys as well. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to get involved in the battle because there's only 4 minutes left of this feature race. But yeah, he is slowly closing that gap up as Ville Lepela getting ever closer to the back of Lucas Schmidt. I think Lucas Schmidt will be glad when this one's over. He spent most of the race being hounded here in Adelaide.
Yeah. It's definitely not an easy race if you are defending all the time, looking at your rear mirrors. It's easy to make a mistake, and you don't want to do that, of course. You want to keep that third place you're in now. But however, those mistakes are very easy to make, especially on tracks like these with high curbs, walls all over the place. But let's see if he can keep it in the right direction and finish third by defending his position to Ville Lepela.
It'd be a great job if he is able to do that. Just having a quick look through the field, most of them a little bit spread out now. We've got 2 NetRex drivers a second or so apart, but it doesn't like they're sort of closing in on each other. Michi Hoyer really struggling in 10th place with massive suspension damage, but he's trying to keep going because he knows if he finishes in that position, he will start the sprint race on pole position. And that gives him a great opportunity to bag maximum points in that race. Filip Puška, though, I've got to say, he's doing very well, managing that gap up at the front. Luke Maguire, he's trying to close the gap in, and not a lot he can do about it now, though, unless Puška makes a mistake.
Yep, exactly. 3 minutes left. Ooh, Tom van Egmond going really wide onto the back straight, almost ran into the barriers there. And
now, Ivan Leonov is closing in a little bit on Danny van den Eet. When I looked through a lap ago, he wasn't as close as he is now. But yeah, so that could get a little bit feisty between teammates.
Yeah, let's see if Ivan dares to make the move on his team boss. Then he can be quite aggressive defensive. But let's see what he will do here with his new driver. I mean, Leonov also a new driver for NetRex.
I mean, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, if you're catching your team boss, do you annoy him and overtake him, or do you show him what you can do and overtake him?
Yeah, it's a tough question. I mean, you can't make the mistake and punt your team boss off the track.
You can, but he just won't be your team boss for very much longer.
Exactly. Ooh, Danny, though, makes the mistake. Leonov, ooh, he's careful, but he is there to try to capitalize on the mistake of Danny there, but doesn't quite manage to do so.
This battle for third is still as it's been for the last few laps. I mean, it's an interesting one, really, because I mean, Lukaszek and Lepela both having damage. Obviously, pace is compromised a little bit in that situation, but it's the nature of racing. Sometimes you're going to get a bit of a knock.
Yeah, exactly. Leonov is all over the back of Danny van den Eet now. Surely he's going to try to make that move somewhere. A lot of dirty air from Leonov. Both of the NetRex drivers locking up there in the last corner. As there is just over 1 minute remaining. I think it's going to be another lap after this. But it will be close. When the timer hits 0 and Filip Puška crosses the line, that will be the end of the race.
Felix, sorry to interrupt. Ville Lepela is right up close to the back of Lucas Schmidt, but Lucas Schmidt has got cars ahead of him.
Wow.
Lucas Schmidt makes a mistake. Oh, is that going to be contact? No, just managed to avoid each other. Yeah, they've got 12th and 11th ahead of them. They're battling for position. And it looks like Lepela's managed to get ahead. Yes, he has. Is Lucas Schmidt going to try and fight back, or is Lukaszek going to try and make a move as well? Lukaszek's going to try around the outside. Is it going to work? A little bit of contact between the two, and it's a little bit bump and grindy, but Lukaszek makes the move. Very aggressive now. Lepela trying to make gains on the back markers. And they need to make sure they get out of the way nice and clean. But now, Tom van Egmond is right onto the back of this pack. He's on the back of Lucas Schmidt. No, he's not. He's up the inside of Lucas Schmidt around the final corner. Lucas Schmidt started the lap in third. He's ending the lap in sixth.
Yeah, he's got 1 lap left to try and get back his positions, but I don't think he's gonna be able to. With all the back markers here, really catching up at the...
Sorry, Lucas made a mistake. Tom van Egmond's got deep into the runoff area, so that's 1 place back for Lucas Schmidt. The NetRex guys. Lucas and Lucas Schmidt side by side now. Oh my God, it's getting very aggressive on this last lap.
Yeah, really exciting racing here. Lucas Schmidt going back from 6th, maybe up to 4th position here. Side by side with Lukacek, seems to have the position. And yeah, definitely has the position now. Defensive into this corner, making sure Lukacek can't get past easily.
Philip Pushka about to cross the line to take the victory here in Adelaide. I think that is going to be the last time he crosses the line, and it will be for the victory. Yes, it is. Philip Pushka takes the win. Luke Maguire is going to take 2nd place. Veal Lepela is going to take 3rd, but there's still a battle for 4th place. Lucas Schmidt, excuse me, and Wojciech Lukaszek with contact between the NetRex drivers in the background. It looks like Ivan Leonov may have just nudged Danny van den Eet, his team boss, to steal the position. Tom van Egmond crosses the line in 8th. Mitchie Hoy is now 9th. Matthew Tucson is he's after the race. He's DNF.
Oh, huh? What happened? Tucson. He's
I
missing
have
his
no
front
idea.
wing. Let's see the replay. Scrolling it back. Did he spin in the... Huh? What happened to Tucson? Did he... What? On the back straight? Oh no, on the finish straight. Start finish straight. Had a wheel spin or something. And just crashed into the wall. But he has finished 10th. I think it will count. I'm pretty sure it will. But that is really remarkable. And Michi Hoyer, he will finish in 9th place. What a finish here for the feature race.
What a bonkers end to the race.
And eventually Philip Pushka really being the best driver here today. At least for the feature race. There's still a sprint race to go. And Philip will be starting from 10th place there. So he will need to at least overtake 9 other cars if he wants to finish first.
Yep, that he is. I mean, for Mitchie Hoyer, it might not be too bad, actually. All he needs to do is try and get a better start than Matthew Tucson, get ahead of him into turn 1, and then let everybody else see how Matthew gets on with the pressure of being on the front row of the grid. So, yeah, but, I mean, what a race. I mean, we had a great battle between Pushka and Lepela until Lepela made his mistake, but Luke Maguire with a bit of damage, trying to close back up, wasn't able to do it, but a great battle between himself and his teammate Lucas Schmidt, and then that battle from 3rd to 5th that just exploded on the last couple of laps. I mean, I actually thought Ton van Egmond had timed it spot on to gain maximum places, and then runs off into the runoff area, doing a bit of I think there must have been a sign down there, sort of stop, Forest, stop, because yeah, it was an unfortunate mistake from there, but what an end. And we talked about Ivan Leonov. Do you make the move on your team boss or not? Well, whatever you do, you don't hit him. Unfortunately, he hit him, so it'd be interesting to find out what the conversation's like between those two.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, as the drivers will be getting for another warm-up session, after that warm-up session, we will have the sprint race here. That will be 15 minutes long, no pit stops. So that will be absolutely mayhem, I think, here at the Adelaide track. So stay tuned for that. We will be back in about 5 minutes time to commentate on the action there for you once again. Anyway, stay tuned, grab a cup of coffee, and we will be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The drivers are almost ready to get the sprint race started. It's gonna be quite an exciting sprint race, I think. Like we said before, the results of the feature race that we just had will be reversed, at least the top 10 of that. So 10th place, which was Matthew Tucson, I think that's been confirmed. We'll be starting on pole position with next to Michi Hoyer, and that will be quite interesting. And judging what kind of battles we already had in the feature race, I think the sprint race is gonna be even more crazy.
I'd agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's the nature of a sprint race. People tend to be a little more aggressive. There's no pit stop window to try and undercut, overcut. The cars are a little lighter. They've just had a race, so they know if they want to make a little tweak to the setup. But yeah, I mean, I've got to say, a lot of pressure, though, on Matthew Tucson.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Being where he is. Effectively, looking at it, you've got a last year's pro driver against a last year's WC driver.
Yep.
On pole position, and it's no offence to Matthew Tucson, it does come with a lot of pressure. I know I'd feel the pressure of it, and I'd consider myself an experienced driver.
Yeah, surely. We saw.
Don't cut me shit.
Anyway, we saw it with Leonov. At least, well, we saw two exact opposites basically in two different sprint races. The first round, Leonov started from pole position and managed to defend his position very nicely and get the win out of it even. And last round, the second round at the Dubai Autodrome, he just got passed left, right and center by all sorts of cars, and I think he finished in 11th or 12th position at the end. So
yeah, I mean, it can be very demoralising as well. I mean, when you get sort of hung out to dry and you just got people passing you left, right and centre, it does get very demoralising, especially in a sprint race. Oh. Now we know why we put the camera where we have to. But yeah, I do like this camera angle though, because it does give a good. You can see who's pushing really hard through these corners, who's a little bit tentative, and who gets a little bit unfortunate through the gravel. Yep, let's test what the grip's like over there.
Yeah, I don't think that's the best way to go in turn one when you come there for the first time in the sprint race.
Yeah, someone get him some cream. I think he's going to have a little bit of a rash that's going to need a bit of treatment there.
Yeah, and even though, but of course, when the sprint race is only 50 minutes long, mistakes are going to be punished even more. You need to be aggressive if you want to overtake people now, because there's not a lot of time. But also, if you make a mistake, you don't have a lot of time to fix that mistake. So pressure is on for all the drivers here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we talk about pressure on Matthew Tucson. Pressure's on Michi Hoyer. I mean, we'd all expect him to make a move, run away.
Yeah.
But if he makes a mistake, he could easily... I mean, if he does what we just saw someone do at turn one and ends up going through the gravel, he could easily find himself down in 10th place with only 15 minutes to try and make something happen. And it would be a hell of a lot more difficult.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, 18 seconds remaining in the session, and Luke Maguire quickest, but as I usually say, one more time, don't really say anything. Could be lower fuel, could be pushing harder, could be anything.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Luke Maguire was fastest in practice before the feature race, qualifying. And obviously qualifying didn't go his way, so it doesn't matter how quick you are in practice, it's qualifying in the races that count.
Yeah. So if you guys watching are any way, shape or form interested in joining this series, I think next week is already our next race. I might be wrong about that. Let me quickly check on that. Anyway, there are links in the description below where you can sign up if you would like to. It's all for free, the Winter Series. The winner... however, I doubt it will be possible to win the championship if you join by the 4th round. Anyway, the winner of the championship will get a free license, free license by choice for next year's Formula SimRacing regular season. Which will be, I think, really an interesting season. We've got perhaps some changes in the format coming up, and of course the 2017 style Formula cars, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I must admit, we've been trying the beta car, and yeah, it's an interesting car to drive, and even. Sometimes when you've got a beta mod, sometimes there may be problems with it. That's the whole idea of doing beta tests with the cars that are going to be used, and sometimes it's always better to find any problems way before you get to the season, so that they can be sorted out, fixed, dealt with, and you can start the season with a solid car. And they are interesting to drive, that's for certain. Okay, so formation lap about to get underway then. And yeah, what a grid we've got here today.
Yeah, for sure. Matthew Tucson on pole position. I don't think he's gonna. Well, no offense again, but it's not gonna be often that Matthew Tucson is gonna be leading the pack on a formation lap for the formation lap here in Formula SimRacing. Perhaps next season he will show that he is able to do that, and I'm happy for him to do so. Please, if you can, Matt, let us see. He's taking it really slowly here.
He is. I mean, one thing. Okay, you're the lead car. You dictate the pace of the pack, but you don't want to go too slow because people will be shouting at you. But he does get to sort of decide what pace he goes. But this is a situation where really he shouldn't really think about what anybody else is doing behind him. Just get your formation lap done, try and ignore it, get your breathing done. That might sound daft, get your breathing done, but if you've never really done sim racing, it's very easy to forget to breathe, and you do have to now and again sort of focus yourself, and this is a time for Matt to focus and just get his brakes up to temperature, because he's got Michi Hoyer right behind him, and that is a daunting prospect.
Yeah, surely. And you say it's easy to forget to breathe. It's also easy to forget to blink. That's what I really suffer from. My eye is really starting to burn sometimes because I just don't blink. You're concentrated so massively on your driving, and you just forget to blink.
Yeah, it's surprising what we do. We'll have to stick a camera on ourselves one day, Felix, to see how much we stick a tongue out as well, how much we tilt our head going through corners.
Exactly.
Well, the spectators are going to be tilting their heads as this race gets underway. Do you want to run through the grid order, Felix, or we're just going to let them go for it?
Yeah, sure. I think we've got the wrong camera up on the stream. There we go. That's the right one now. So Matthew Tucson on pole position once again. Michi. Oh, whoa! Budukov manages to hit the pit entry wall. That's quite an achievement on its own, I think. Anyway, Tom van Egmond will be starting on 3rd, Danny van der Niet 4th, Ivan Leon on 5th, Lukacek 6th, Lucas Schmidt 7th, Wille Lepela 8th, 9th Luke Maguire, and Filip Puška will be starting from 10th.
Into the pit, so he's going to start from the pit lane. He may have been allowed to get his car into his grid spot, but he's going to go for the pit lane start anyway.
Right, so the lights are off and we are racing here. It has been a reasonably bad start for Matthew Tucson. Michi Hoyer already up the inside. Tom van Egmond looking up the inside as well. A bit of contact going into turn 1, but all throughout it's been a reasonably good start, and Michi Hoyer leading the race out of the first couple of corners.
He is, and Matthew Tucson coming under a lot of pressure early on. Tom van Egmond trying to make a way, but it's not going to be able to do it. And this is a situation that Matthew is going to be a little bit of a hounded dog here. Everyone's going to think, oh, I'm going to get past him. I want to get past him. I've got an opportunity here. But Michi Hoyer already opens up a 2-second gap. And this is Tom van Egmond's probably best opportunity. Opening lap, cold tyres. Can he do anything down towards the hairpin?
Go dirty air is going to be a lot. We've seen that in the feature race already. And so far, Matt, a little bit of a lock up there coming through the hairpin, sorry. But manages to keep ahead of Tom van Egmond and Danny van der Niet, or at least for now.
Yeah, in the background, Luke Maguire tried to make a move on Wille Lepela, wasn't able to do it. And let's see, Filip Puška tried to be very aggressive into the hairpin, but was way too late on the brakes and lost a couple of positions from it.
A lot of cars really close here on track, and Lucas Schmidt has to watch out for Felix Puschke right behind him. However, Felix goes a bit wide into turn 1.
It looks like most people have got through lap 1 quite nicely, apart from Koen van Schie. He's into the pits to repair some damage.
Alright, so Michi Hoyer already 3 seconds ahead of Matthew Tucson now. And Tom perhaps going to make the move on the end of the back straight this time around. A lot of cars here. This is going to be exciting. Here we go, Tom van Egmond in the slipstream. Going to be able to do something? No, not yet.
A little bit further back though, it's an ACR driver. I think that may have been Lucas Schmidt. No, it was Luke Maguire. Went deep at the hairpin. Oh, Matthew Tucson very nearly undercut on the 5th to last corner there. He's doing well though, to be fair. He's onto the second lap. Oh no, braking on hard on the inside. Perhaps a little too aggressive there. That's going to compromise him.
Maguire again spun around in the last corner and loses a lot of positions now.
Tom van Egmond trying to go around the outside towards turn 1. That's not going to work, but Tucson's gone wide. Now he's into the barrier. That's going to compromise him. He's going to lose a couple of places there. A massive crash. It's an enormous, monstrous Wojciech Lukaszek upside down. That'll be race over, I'm afraid.
Yes, surely his race is over. And Matthew Tucson also dropped back to 15th place. Surely his race is as good as over now. Tom van Egmond though, he is in 2nd position and his car seems to be okay. And Felix Puschke in 5th place. Right behind Ville Lepela is about to make the move, I think. Has got a lot of dirty air, and I think same thing as we had before in the feature race. Puschke just doesn't have the top speed to get past Ville Lepela here.
He doesn't have. Just had a quick look at the live footage on the YouTube of the incident there. It looks like Matthew Tucson was out of position because of the little attack that Tom van Egmond did on him. They were side by side. I think Matthew had to lift up a little bit. He was compromised. He was then tagged from behind by 2 cars, and the contact between those 2 cars is what sent Wojciech Lukaszek on a little bit of an airborne trip.
Yep. Yeah, very unfortunate there for Lukaszek. His race over, and hopefully he will be back next round to try and fight back the points he lost here today.
Hopefully. I just hope he doesn't get airsick, because if he does, there's going to be a big mess to clean up.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, while all that's been happening, Michi Hoyer, as you said, was able to make the move. He's pulled out a nice 3.8 second gap. Whether Tom van Egmond is going to be able to close that gap up on him or not, I don't know. I think Tom's main focus is going to be hold on to that 2nd place. Ivan Leonov in 3rd place has now got Ville Lepela right behind him, as well as Felix Puschke. And I think Puschke is going to have a little bit of perhaps a point to prove in this race. He wants to, I think, get past Lepela without Lepela making any kind of mistake. He wants to do a legitimate move on track.
There was a little mistake though from both of the drivers. Lepela outbraking himself a little bit into the last corner, and Puschke responding to that by also locking up a little bit. However, it wasn't too bad, and I'm sure these drivers will be able to battle for the next couple of laps. Right in front of them, Ivan Leonov struggling again. We saw him struggling as well in the last sprint race we had, but maybe he can defend again like he did in Imola.
Quite possibly. Felix Puschke though, I think he's going to have to get a little bit aggressive, you know, because if he can't make any moves, he's going to get caught by Danny van der Neet, and if van der Neet's got the straight line speed, then it could be a problem for Puschke. But actually, Puschke was able to keep up with Lepela on this occasion with the slipstream, so maybe he's made a slight adjustment to his setup, perhaps taking a little bit of wing off to benefit him down the straights. Yeah,
that could well be. Open setups between the races, of course, so they can do anything. Oh, big lock up there from Puschke. They make a little bit of contact. Ville Lepela into the wall, loses his front wing just after they cross the pit entry, and Lepela is gonna have to do a whole lap without a front wing. Definitely his race over now.
Yeah, that's going to be a painful lap. He's going to have to be careful. He may end up in the barrier. I think he's going to retire the car. Yeah, I'm not surprised if he does. He's not parked it in the best of places, but I've seen worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not surprised he's parked the car there. No front wing around this track. Chances are you're going to end up in the barrier anyway. So he's decided, you know what, I'll get out of everybody's way and just let them race.
Exactly, and Filip Puška will now be aiming his sights on Ivan Leonov in front of him.
Tom van Egmond has closed up to Michi Hoyer by 1.5 seconds. Oh,
wow, has
Michi Hoyer made a mistake?
Yeah, must have been.
Yeah, he did. Michi Hoyer's last lap was 0.7 slower than Tom van Egmond.
Wow, then Ton again doing a good job here in the sprint race. We saw it last week as well. Very nice driving from Ton in the sprint race, and he is on for a good result once again here. Only 7 and just under 8 minutes remaining. Time flies here in the sprint race.
It really, really does, and so do the cars. Okay, Ivan Leonov now coming under a little bit of pressure from Puška, who was perhaps a little too aggressive through the turn 1 chicane then. But it's a good opportunity for either of the top 4 or 5 to grab a decent haul of points. Terence Gretsch, unfortunately, DNF for him. That's going to allow Kern Van Schie to gain an extra place. Kern, unfortunately, having to pit very early on for damage on the opening lap.
Yeah.
So, Puška, what have you got? Can you attack Ivan Leonov down into the hairpin?
I think he's reasonably good distance away. Oh, never mind. Had to lift massively through the kink and lost quite a lot of time by doing so.
Yeah, he's struggling for grip in the dirty air through that kink, which is a bit of a surprise.
There's a lot of understeer in this car, and that's not helping him. And just see through a lot of the long corners that Leonov just manages to gain a lot of time. And perhaps, like we said, he has gotten a little bit less wing, but there, by doing so, also has a little bit more understeer in his car. However, a good turn 1 here by Puška. Is he going to be able to make the move around the outside? Leonov goes defensive. Late braking from Puška. Is he going to be able to make the corner? They make a little bit of contact, but seems that it is moved on Leonov though on the inside, perhaps? No, Puška makes the move stick. A really nice one there.
It definitely was, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ivan Leonov has got a decent straight line speed. He usually does. Or as Puška gets a little bit all over the curb once again. But also Ivan Leonov's in a situation now where he's got his team boss behind him. And I wouldn't be surprised if Danny van der Neet's like, right, I'm going to show you how to do it. Good or bad, I'm going to show you how to do it.
Yeah, and in the meantime, a lot of drivers caught up to the back of them. Ivan Leonov and Danny van der Neet makes a mistake. Ooh. And that allows Lucas Schmidt up the inside. Danny van der Neet gets forced wide onto the curb. Runs into the runoff area, into the gravel. Loses a lot of time and a lot of positions there. Ooh. Quite a aggressive rejoin there. Bidukov manages to stay out of his way. But yeah, a lot of positions and time lost there for Danny van der Neet.
Yeah, it was unfortunate there. I mean, got on the curb, straddled it, and it sent him straight on. It's massively unfortunate for him. Ton van Egmond, though, is closing that gap in again on Michi Hoyer. Ton van Egmond sniffing the opportunity of a victory here. He's only got 5 minutes to try and close that gap, but he's just taken a massive jump over the curb. That's going to compromise him a little bit. Well, I say that, he's actually gained a little bit of time. So maybe Michi Hoyer's just taking it easy at the moment.
Perhaps Michi looking for the confrontation here. A little bit of fun racing with Ton. But Ton is really pushing it. You can see it in his driving. And let's see what he can do.
Now, Bernard Vella has managed to make a move on Luke Maguire. I've not seen where he's managed to do it, but yeah, he has gained a place. And they are right behind Jos Adelaide, and they're not too far behind Lucas Schmidt. Lucas Schmidt trying to put some pressure on Leonov, but not quite able to do so at the moment. Ton van Egmond, though, as you say, is absolutely on it. You can see the opportunity of a victory, and there's only one way he's going to get it, and that's to push it with everything he's got. Oh, Luke Maguire all over the back. of Bernard Vella. He's having a look up the inside, a little twitchy on the brakes. Vella goes for the defensive line, locks up. Luke Maguire trying to make a move. Is that Pushka? Has Pushka made a mistake?
I think it is.
Yes, he has.
Yeah. Oh, Pushka made the mistake. Now loses a position. A lot of positions. However, make contact with the SimRacing Malta car, and that runs into the back of, or into the front of Luke Maguire. It is chaos here once again in the sprint race, with Philip Pushka causing all of that. Not sure what happened. Oh, SimRacing Malta car ran into the barriers there. That won't be helping his suspension, and
he won't.
All these cars drifting through the hairpin.
He'll be lucky if he's got away with that with no damage, but Danny Van Den Eek was very lucky. He come around that corner and all of a sudden there's 2 or 3 cars there waiting for him. He did well to avoid it, and he's putting back up into 7th place now. Philip Pushka, though, I'm not sure what happened to him, but yeah, he lost a lot of time in a lot of places.
We'll go Kirill Budikov really close to the back of Luke Maguire. No, sorry, Bernard Vella. But what a sprint race we have had so far, and there is still about 2 laps remaining. I think Tom van Egmond is still pushing hard, trying to close that gap to Michi Hoyer. However, last lap didn't gain as much as he did in the laps before that. However, he can visually see Michi, and that always is a very, very nice thing to have as a driver, something to look forward to.
Yeah, there's a few very close battles down the order. Philip Pushka getting very aggressive on Jos Araneda, trying to get him out of position. It's not quite worked though. But also Lucas Schmidt all over the back of Ivan Leonov. Leonov having to think about going defensive, but at the moment he's okay. Oh, Luke Maguire facing the wrong direction. He's had a bit of a spin. I didn't see what happened to him there, but yeah, he's down in 10th place, and it's going to cost him. Kirill Burakov now trying to attack Bernard Vella. There's so much kicking off here on these last couple of laps.
Difficult to keep up with here. Here we go. Budikov around the outside. Late braking. We saw Pushka do it. Side by side still. A little bit of contact made. But the position is for Budikov now. Oh, almost runs into the barrier there over the curb. And maybe Vella able to capitalize on that? No, he himself made a mistake over the curb as well.
Okay, Michi Hoyer's managed to open up the gap a little bit, but that's because Tom van Egmond's had some traffic and that's compromised him around the final corner. That's a NetRex driver that he's just had to drive around, so Tom van Egmond loses about his second through that little phase. Ivan Leonov still got Lucas Schmidt right up his gearbox, but the closest battle is that Budikov Pushka battle that you were watching, Felix.
Yeah, exactly. Pushka is very aggressive, very much in the mirrors of Jos Araneda. Coming out of the first couple of corners. Is Pushka going to be able to make that attack here? Late braking, goes for the inside dive bomb, makes contact with the barrier and also makes contact with Jos Araneda. A very, very aggressive move there by Philip Pushka. And he manages to get the position, but with what cost there? Also, Danny Van Den Eek coming into this battle now.
Yeah, I believe we are on to the last lap as well, as Michi Hoyer coming up to towards the last complex of corners. He's only got 2 corners to go, so it's going to be a great result for Michi Hoyer. But I've got to say, Tom van Egmond, what a drive to be able to keep pace with Michi Hoyer. Shows that he's got plenty of ability in these cars. But yeah, what a result for Michi Hoyer. It's another victory for him. Tom van Egmond second place, and then a battle for third.
Lucas Schmidt and Leonov. Leonov comes out ahead, out of the last corner. Nice job by Leonov, getting another podium. And then it is Philip Pushka in 5th place, Danny Van Den Eek in 6th, and Jos Araneda in 7th. And Kirill Budikov managed to stay ahead of Bernard Vella. Finishes 8th, and then Luke Maguire in 10th place. Matthew Tucson, after starting from pole position, having that incident at the start of the race, finished in 11th place, and Koen van Schie finishes in 12th position.
Well, that went a bit quick, didn't it?
Yeah, 50 minutes goes by very quickly, and especially if you have these kind of drivers on these kind of tracks.
Yeah, I must admit as well, I mean, it might be easy for people to blame Matthew Toussaint for that massive collision, but from my first look at it, I've not looked at it in detail, but from my first look at it, just completely unfortunate. I wouldn't put any blame on Matthew Toussaint there at all. When you're side by side with the car, it's going to compromise your speed, and those cars behind have to be aware of that, and unfortunately perhaps they weren't, but it gave us a massive crash to witness. But yeah, an interesting race, if perhaps a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, well, at least we've got some action, and it's been very great to commentate on the race here. And I hope the drivers had fun as well, and the viewers, you of course had some fun watching as well. Anyway, I think it is time for us to close off. Let me quickly take a look at the information for the next round, which will be held at the Sebring track, which is a different track to this, of course, in the beautiful country of America. And it will be on February the 3rd, so that is next week already. So if you are interested in driving, if you think you can do better than all the drivers here on track, make sure to go to the links in the description and sign. Sorry, my bad there. What I was saying, next race is February the 3rd, next week already. If you want to sign up for that, make sure to go to the links in the description below and sign yourselves up via our forums. I want to thank you, Dave, once again for joining me here in the commentary box.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure to be back, and I hope everybody's enjoyed it. And apologies for any incorrect names said throughout the broadcast. I had a bit of a break from commentary, but it's always exciting to come back. It's always good to do commentary with yourself, Felix. It's always a good laugh, and we always get some excitement on track to keep us entertained.
Yes, exactly. Right, so I want to thank then last the viewers all for watching and the drivers for giving us the action today. And I hope to see you all in 1 week time at the Sebring course. Until then, take care.